Okay. Are you sure you're ready?
Yes, I am.
Are you ready to get this roast a cooking?
Yes, this carne asada.
Okay. This got an yeah. Vamos a ver quién ríe al último. Aren't we going to?
Yes.
Very prophetic. Welcome to yet another Drag Race Review podcast. I'm your host, Terry Blass.
And I am Chucho Quintero.
And this is the J Word, your home for all things Drag Race Mexico. What's funny is I don't even write that down in our notes anymore because it's all in here now. How are you?
I'm great. Yes.
Good.
I have a 1 week vacation before I have
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Well, I am okay. I was just telling you before we started that I just did FlameCon. So if people want to hear about it, if you think they want to hear about it, you can insert that here.
It was a nice show. I was able to see some friends and, just sell some stuff.
But yeah, I got home at 2 a.m. and then I went to bed and then I woke up and here we are. So let's get started on the episode, shall we?
Yes.
Okay,
so,
this is going to be an interesting session of housekeeping for a few reasons. So why don't we start with something that I didn't even know about that you put in here. So like, let me tell me all about it because I have no idea.
Okay. So basically, like, I'm always on TikTok and I'm always like looking at all these queens TikToks and stuff. And I found one by Margaret where she was using one of these filters, where you can like do your top 10 of like queens. And there's one where you can just rank like the season 2 queens of Drag Race Mexico. And instead of ranking them, she was like, I'm gonna rank them depending on how well they can take a joke, like a read. Like if they would get like super offended or if they're gonna like, fire back or like, just banter with it, whatever. And the funny thing about this particular TikTok is that what I concluded after seeing it was that basically not a single queen on Drag Race Mexico season 2 can take a joke. Because Margaret was like, no, she can't. No, she would get offended. No, she would feel some type of way. Like just basically everybody was on the bottom. And but my favorite part was, of course, when she got to Nina de la Fuente, which was like the second to last. And she got to Nina de la Fuente, and Margaret was just like, yeah, she's the person I read the most in my life. So yeah, she can take it. So basically, Margaret leaves to read Nina de la Fuente. So that was funny. And speaking
Nina
of
had
reading,
her own.
Speaking of reading Nina de la Fuente, we know that queens, they go to record the show, to shoot the show, and then when they come back, they have time to sort of like plan out like some content and stuff that will relate to each episode, right? To the rollout of each episode. So of course we get like photo shoots of like unseen looks and blah blah. And so apparently Nina and somebody else who helped her produce this was like, you know what, the roast is coming and Nina wasn't there, so let's do a roast of Nina de la Fuente.
Oh,
and
no.
There's like, there's Garzón is there and Margaret is there and even Pablo Moran, who is like kind of like the mind behind Drag Race Mexico both seasons, the show in general. He was also there, and like a bunch of queens were there, and it looks really funny. I haven't seen it because it's behind a paywall, which was, I guess, smart. But yeah, the roast of Nina de la Fuente is out there, and it looks really funny. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Check it out if you want to see it. Right?
Yeah, of course.
Something big happened. Something global. May have happened. This past week.
So this is I wasn't considering this to be like part of housekeeping. Just like its own section.
But technically it could be because
this is more of like house renovating.
Okay, sure. Let's a little HGTV.
Yes.
But considering that Gala Varo was a contestant and that my favorite Mexican pop star
Of course.
was a judge in episode
Yes.
2, it's very
Yes.
much housekeeping. So
Yeah.
let me preface it with this. This gave me something to watch in my hotel room while I organized my stuff, got ready for the convention, and like had a slice of pizza, right? So it was perfect. It was like the perfect thing to watch. In a general sense, I feel like it's a weird alternate reality version from like a different dimension of Drag Race.
Yeah.
Because it starts out unlike any other season. So regular seasons, girls walk into the workroom, right? On Versus the World, queens like come up with like the screen thing and then they walk out. But this started with a runway with Rue and Michelle. And you know, like
because it was the opening ceremony, you know?
that this is what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Okay.
So, because it's global. This felt like it felt like a Miss Universe pageant, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I was gonna go for Olympics, but sure.
No, a Miss Universe pageant. Where they say the country and you know they come out in the gown and this and that. And so it was interesting to start it out that way. And then it did sort of just become not just, but it became, you know, like a talent show for the first episode, right? Which is fine. I think that's good to, especially since a lot of these queens, you know, there are plenty of people who are like, I don't watch the international seasons. I don't do that.
Ever since they started doing talent shows on the regular seasons and not just on All Stars, I kind of defended the idea that every single season of Drag Race, regardless of it is All Stars or not, should start with a talent show because it's the best way to get to know the queens.
Sure.
Like outside of like you have to know how to sew, you know what I mean? Like, or you have to know how to do comedy or whatever. Like no, like let the queens first do what they think they do best and kind of like introduce themselves to the world, and then you know do something else that will challenge them a little bit differently. But
here's the other thing that I found interesting about doing a talent show first is that if you watch Drag Race Philippines, Eva La Queen, you take from that show as like, oh, you're a runway slay diva, looks queen, you're amazing, right? Her talent show was very comedy. And I was like, oh, what an interesting way to like, because she knows she's going to bring the looks. So she may as well start off with like something else to have them think that she's very well rounded.
Yeah. So, well, before we get into like specifics, I wanted to talk about the premise because you were talking about like this whole Miss Universe thing or the Olympics or whatever, and I literally showed my dad like Gala's runways because I was watching it as I was like having breakfast or something, and my dad was just walking around, and I showed him like her runways because I was telling him how it felt like it got the patriot in me out, like in a very strange way, in a way that recently the Olympics kind of did it, you know, because I kept repeating to him like I'm not like a fan of Gala Varo herself, you know, like I'm not a Gala stan. Like I think she's great, but I wouldn't be like, oh yes, Gala or whatever. But because she's like representing Mexico, it kind of like makes me feel even like proud, you know, and be like, oh my God, like she's, you know, representing us. Like, no, she's not, but like she is, you know, like, and so I love the premise of not being something versus the world, but instead being like, no, let's do one of each.
Yeah.
And put them together and like see what happens. And everybody's gonna like literally represent their country and their kind of drag in a way. And so yeah, I feel like out of the first batch of queens that we got, like Gala is definitely the one that I would be like, oh yeah, like she would be a great representation of like a general idea of Mexican drag, you know? And also, to be honest, I don't know. We're gonna check. I mean, I'm gonna check week by week, but like Gala is probably gonna show like a bunch of Avies gowns and stuff and outfits, you know? And so it's gonna be like basically Avies also competing in a way because she's gonna show her work to RuPaul and to the world. And like RuPaul and Michelle are gonna basically be like, oh yeah, this outfit is great. And we'll all know that, oh, she's basically like critiquing an Avies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like that's what excited me the most in a way of seeing, and also I don't, like you said, like I don't watch all the international seasons, not because I don't want to. I would love to. I just don't have like the stamina to do it. To be honest, I think I watched like the first half of an episode of like Netherlands once, and I was like, "Oh, this is great," but like I don't have the time or the energy to like just sit and watch
No,
like
no,
10
no.
episodes of this, you know?
What I mean is
Oh,
that
I know that people purposefully are like, "Ah, I'm not interested." Yeah.
right. I don't watch all the internet. I watch most of them.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, people who just like I don't want to watch the international. It's
But
like okay.
but I'm gonna say this, like after Marina and now Eva, like girl, I have to watch Drag Race Philippines.
Oh, Philippines is amazing. It has the best.
Yeah.
It has the best girl group
Mhm.
performance I've ever seen.
Better than Lonely, 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 Lonely.
Yes.
Oh. I've sent you
Better
all
than
of the TikToks of Lonely, like everybody's lip syncing to Lonely.
better than Bing Bang Bong.
Okay. Oh, that's major. Anyways,
Well, because you know the Philippines is all about singing and performance, and everybody there can do that. It's in the fucking water there, so it's incredible what they do.
yeah.
It's
I
good.
think, yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like out of the things that I like about drag that are very specific to me, that I like, you know, performers and stuff like that more than fashion, like and you know, like camp and drama and stuff like that. I feel like the Philippines is the one that's gonna like feed me the best, you know.
Oh, you will not be hungry. So I want to know. I'll say it this way.
Mhm.
I've talked to a couple, not several people, who are like, "Is this just an excuse for RuPaul to crown Alyssa Edwards?"
Okay.
I want to hear your
Yes,
opinion.
yes, but I don't mind because
I don't either.
I love this. I love the idea. I love every time that we get to see what the queens feel about a specific queen. You know what I mean? Like I love, like you can go to the fans and everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, like I love Aquaria, like I love Bob, and like blah blah. But then when you get to it, like when you actually listen to the queens be like, oh my god, Manila is here. Like I cannot believe like the Manila is here, you know? And you're like, well, yes, because for us it's just like, oh, Manila, she's great. But for the queens, she's like in a higher level, you know? And so
Yeah.
I absolutely that adore that everybody there is like, Alyssa Edwards is here, you know?
Yeah.
Not oh my god, we're fans of Drag Race and Alyssa is so funny, blah blah. No. Alyssa that we have probably seen in our country touring the world or whatever at some point, like Gala Varo did.
Like
Like Gala Varo
Galavaro
is
said. Mm-hmm.
literally there because she saw Alyssa at some point. So it's like this is huge. And of course, I noticed that you plucked it right away. Our favorite moment out of the two
It's the
episodes.
best moment of the whole. Yep, it's the best moment of
Okay,
the
so
whole two
it's
episodes.
basically Queen Kong, which is, you know, she's a legend in her own right. And Queen Kong just goes like, I cannot believe I'm here with you, Alyssa. And Alyssa goes, I cannot believe I'm here. It's almost like it gave me those vibes of like Like, oh my God, you look great. I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also,
Totally.
because it's Alyssa, I don't think she did it like in a mean way. She
No.
literally was just like, "Phoop," like just didn't catch it at all. She was just like, yay, I'm here.
Yeah.
Also, I
was
wanted to say,
good.
just like I said, like, oh, like Gala is kind of like a great representation of like in general Mexican drag, blah, blah, blah. I feel like the perfect queen for the very first season of Global All Stars to represent America is Alyssa Edwards. Is a older
100%.
pageant queen from Texas.
Right there.
I was like, yep, that's America, honey. That's America.
She's gonna come out in the red, white, and blue.
Yes.
Yep. Big Texas pageant hair.
Obviously, like, you know, season 2, season 3, we can have many different queens. But like for season 1, we need the most American queen we can think of.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I want to know what you thought of in general of the talent show, because I thought some of the one I remember the most actually is Eva, and then there was one who I don't remember. She may have been from Italy, I think, but she did like a pop song, and that was really good too.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I remember the most.
Yeah. But by the way, I know like the names of the ones that I saw their seasons, like Saw the Muse and Queen Kong and Gala and Alyssa and Kitty Scott Claus, of course. But everybody else, I'm just calling them by their country because I have not learned the names yet. But that's actually great because, you know, it's one of each. But yeah, I love the Swedish Queen's song also as well. She was
that was good too.
Yeah. I wasn't obsessed with Alyssa's because I feel like I think that we have seen better of her, but at the same time, you know, we have to realize that all these dancing and flipping queens at the end of the day are getting older, you know. And so this was like an introduction to older Alyssa, so I was okay with it. But yeah, Eva's reminded me, and I'm not saying this because they're Asian and blah blah, but Eva's definitely reminded me of the kind of fierce dancing / humor that queens like Marina or Panjaina have. You know, like the way that they can combine, like, yes, I'm gonna do some silly stuff, but at the end of the day, look at me flip and spin and like do all this thing. And so I felt like that was again like a great introduction. And also I have to say, and I haven't tweeted it, but I really need to because I have only seen like a couple of comments about it. But did nobody notice that the dragon that she slayed was a freaking Charizard X, a shiny Charizard X? Like, what the hell? Like, literally Charizard's debut on Drag Race. This is literally the first. No, okay, it's not the first time that Pokemon is sort of like brought into Drag Race because what's her name? A British queen. I never can remember her name, but she came out as an electric type gym leader once on the runway, and we were all like, "Oh my god!" But this is like that we have seen like an actual Pokemon on the stage.
Well, but was it really, or was it just a dragon suit that was the same color? Because I mean, looking at the Charizard X, and it didn't look the same to me. Yeah, I think it might be, huh? Let's see. So it's got the flames coming out the side of its mouth. It's got like a gray belly. Yeah. Close enough, even if it's not, huh? Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, so yeah. So of course she won me over with that. I was like, "What is Charizard, Ariana? What are you doing there?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about Gala's silent performance? Because I have a very specific thought about it.
I think that the athleticism, the balance, the strength is impressive, but it's not, to me, it's not very, I don't find it super entertaining.
Okay. So first of all, I love how between the first episode where they immediately 5 minutes in are like, "Oh, she's the trade of the season," the end.
Yeah.
And then on the second episode, like literally all the comments while she was there in the poll all the comments were like, "Oh my god, she's so hot. Oh my god, sex. Oh my god, this. Oh my god, that." And I'm like, is that gonna be her storyline? Like, it's not like that. Everybody wants
Well,
to fuck her.
but what was interesting is that they do show like Gala says like, oh, I used to be a like what biochemical professor or
Yeah,
whatever or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
You know, and they show pictures of her like as a professor and this and that. So like,
yeah.
sure, maybe her storyline is that she's like sexy and whatever, but then like good, it's cool that they're showing that that was like part of her history, that like that this is something she chose to do because she knew that she could have a more lucrative career doing
Jeez.
this, you know?
Well, but the thing that I kind of got from her talent show is that it didn't have, okay, even if you're just going to pole dance, when we say have a story or have an arc, it doesn't mean that you tell a story. It means that you have to have like a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I felt like she kind of had like a 2-minute introduction to nothing. You know what I mean? Like she just kind of like did
Yeah.
some stuff and then it was over. But there was no progression, so to speak. So that's okay. Or in a way, it was kind of like one note, you know, like it was impressive, but it was just
Yeah.
impressive all the
That's
time and like nothing else happened, you know?
yeah, that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Like I don't think it was obviously it wasn't bad. Like it was very impressive, but there was not much to it, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But so the moment that I realized that it was not going to go anywhere, I was like, oh, she's not gonna win like this week, and like we're not gonna get gonna get to see her lip syncing to Dana's song. But you know,
Yeah.
she can do better in the following challenges. Now, what about Dana Paola? Oh well, Dana, formerly known as Dana Paola. I wanted to ask you, do you know about this drama?
No.
No, you don't know the drama with her
What
name,
no.
but
So
you
that's
know
what
that she changed it.
this is literally what I was gonna ask you about is why is she now just Donna?
Oh, okay. So you didn't notice it like in the past few months.
No.
Okay. So she's now Dana because she has been Dana Paola, which is her actual name, since she was like literally 3 years old, starting out in telenovelas and stuff like that. So she said, she kind of released a statement or whatever, saying that it reminded her so much of being a child that she didn't want to be associated with like that kind of like image or like that kind of part of her career. And she wanted to be her own thing now. So she's kind of like Miley Cyrus in it out, but like Miley's still Miley, but like now Dana is just going to be Dana, you know? Uh,
Okay.
I know it's super weird. And also that guy that came along with some sort of drama that happened because, well, first of all, everybody started making jokes like, "Oh, we're not gonna call you Dana because we're so used to calling you Dana Paula that you're gonna be Dana Paula forever." And she kind of got mad about that, and she was like, "No, like I asked you to call me Dana," and everybody was like, "No, you're still Dana Paula." Blah blah blah. You know, people are crazy on the internet. But also, there's this woman that we don't know who the fuck she is, but she's on Twitter, and she's one of those people that came to Twitter like very early on and got like a great handle, you know? And so her handle is Dana, and that's it, Danna. And so apparently Dana Paula has been trying to get that handle for the longest time. And she hasn't been able to because this woman, even though she is not active on Twitter, she won't sell it to her. And so when she changed her name officially to just Dana, once again, she was like, "Hey, can I have this handle?" And this woman was like, "No." And so Dana Paula, what she did was like send her fans, which is never a good thing, to politely ask for the handle.
Oh, why would she do
But
that,
when like
honey?
2 million gays politely ask for something, it's not gonna end well. So obviously this woman was like, "Girl, why are your fans harassing me for a handle, for a Twitter handle?" And then obviously Dana Paula has to be like, "Hey, please don't do that anymore. Like, let's stop." But like, you know, But at some point, please give me the handle. And so, yeah, that's all the drama with the name. But this is basically, I'm pretty sure that this is like the first sort of big public appearance of Dana as just Dana, you know?
I look, I don't know how to say this, but like, how did she get the judging gig on Global All Stars?
You told me a theory that I'm pretty sure that is the truth, which is they're gonna have as a judge from a guest judge, a celebrity from each of the franchises to judge each of the episodes.
But Adriana Lima was not a guest judge or anything.
No, but she's a Brazilian celebrity. So now we get a Mexican celebrity, you know? And yeah.
I mean, having someone from each country is different than having someone from each franchise.
No, but yeah, I meant from each country. But I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get celebrities from the different countries from now on. So yeah, cool. But the thing that we know that these guest judge gigs are at the end of the day, PR stuff and like a lot of like agents talking to each other and whatever. And I love the deal she got because she got the Lipsync song as well, and that's a big deal, man. Especially for like, hey, can you get all these queens that are trying to compete in their second or third or fourth language to lip sync to a song in their probably sixth language, a language like they know. So we got a Filipina who probably knew the words, of course, because Spanish is very close to Tagalog and all of those. And but the poor Swedish queen was like, fighting for her life, as Panjaina would say.
You're gonna find it really interesting watching Philippines because in the confessions and in the workroom all the time, they start a lot of sentences with pero. It's so weird.
I feel like I don't know about every single language in the Philippines, but I feel like Tagalog is basically like if you got English and Spanish in a blender and then just add like vodka to it and just throw it in the wall. And it's like that. And I say it with love. Like it's always crazy for my ears for my brain, because every time that I listen to Tagalog, it's like, I'm picking up English stuff and I'm picking up Spanish stuff, but at the end of the day, it's neither,
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
So that was Global All Stars.
Global All Stars.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Are you ready for the actual episode?
I am.
Because nobody went home last week, there's no mirror message. And also this week, there's no mini challenge.
Yes.
What do they do instead, Chucho?
They welcome the top 4 from season 1. And they welcome them because they're going to be the subjects of the first official Drag Race Mexico roast, because on season 1, we didn't have a roast. We had the stand-up comedy challenge. So, yeah, that they come in. And
the queens do mention, like, when they're leaving the workroom, Regina says something like, and I should have won the roast challenge last. So, like, they do kind of consider themselves as having a roast challenge. But like
no. What Regina said was, and let's hope that this time the queen who should win wins. That's what she said. It was kind of like a general statement of like the couple of challenges that Regina should have won. Yeah.
Well, oh my gosh, can you hear the train? Ugh.
No, is the train still
running? Yes, it's still running. There's a couple things that happen here that I think are kind of funny, because they bring the queens in to give them advice for the roast, not just to be the subjects, right? And I thought that was really fun. Leexa has this fun where she says that, like, Regina Voce, she's looked up to for a long time, and whatever, because of her career, and she says, that she's mi amiga personal, and that she hasn't been to every single one of her children's birthday parties or whatever. She's been to all of her all of her theatrical performances. We've seen her in every role. Something else I noticed that was funny was that they're writing down notes and from advice and stuff, and Unique in her little journal, the cover of her journal is Klimt the Kiss, which Horacio Potasio dressed up as.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Another thing that happens is that Regina keeps talking to one of the girls or whatever, like, you know, they're talking in like little groups. And she says, she's talking about when you're shading someone. And she keeps saying shading in English. And I'm curious what you think, like, because I don't know. If this were another Mexican drag reality competition where they don't like you to speak English in El Champacuarto, what would you have to say?
Well, I don't have to come up with something because it's already there.
Because
We
isn't it
know that is bufar.
Bufar?
Yes.
Because we've talked about this in season 1. But is that
no, because
what's the word
Spanglish,
for what?
the Spanglish version is tirar shade. Te voy a tirar shade.
Yeah, but shade is an English word.
Yeah, I know. That's the Spanglish version, tirar shade. And the Spanish version is bufar.
But why? But isn't the word for shade
Sombra?
Something else? Yeah. So why isn't it tirar sombra?
Tirar sombra. I'm pretty sure I've heard that, but it's not as popular.
Why isn't it sombrando?
Sombrear. Like
sombrero.
I love when we use obtener for everything in Mexico, in Mexican gay slang. And everybody's like, where did that come from? And I remember that everybody was trying to explain it. And I was like, the first time that I heard it, I knew immediately where it had come from. Because there's so many Drag Race memes that get translated literally because it's funnier that way, because it doesn't make kind of sense. And Getter Jade was translated as Obtenla Jade. And so kind of like, if you get something, you lo obtienes. And so everybody's like, oh, la obtuvo, la va a obtener, oh, te obtuvieron, and stuff like that. Which is basically like, they got you, gal, you know?
That's hilarious. So I love that.
I love when that happens. And so, yeah, you know, yeah, shading could be like sombrear or like, you know, something. But yeah, it's bufar. Actually, the TikTok that we were talking about in Housekeeping of Margaret was like queens that she could buffer without them feeling some type of way. So yeah.
Yeah. So there are a couple little catchphrases and things that happen here in this section, because what's about to happen is Unique and Jenary are going to put the order of who is going to roast, you know, in what order. Unique actually said, it doesn't sound like Unique. It's one of those weird moments where it's like Unique's mouth isn't moving to this, so it may have been audio from someone else in the room, but it's on, the camera's on Unique. But someone says Hellotis. Did you notice?
No, I didn't.
Go back and watch it. Right? Yeah, and the camera's on Unique, and they're coming in to address who is gonna, you know, like what order they're gonna be in.
I mean, not to spoil anything, but like but I love that this is one of the very few times, if not like, you know, I can count them with one hand, when a queen gets the task of assigning an order to a show or a performance, and they do it purposefully, you know, in a sabotaging kind of way, as Fishalicious would say. And so they're kind of like, let's screw them over, you know? And that's kind of like, I leave, you know, because it's like, girl, there's only 6 of you. Who are you trying to be friends with? Like, just go for blood.
So
you
not
know?
to take it there. But in my, you know, in my Boys Planet show, whatever, there's one guy that I loved. And in the final episode, another guy who was in the top, his like prize was that he could choose whichever group and whichever role he wanted. And that person had to then go to like the bottom group, whatever. And he chose my favorite guy. And I was so mad. But then I was like, but yeah, the point is to win the show. And if you want to win the show, like, that's of course what you're gonna
It's
do.
like that. It was in the pit stop, but it wasn't Trixie. It was somebody else. I can never remember. But the thing of that we talked about of like, oh, I want to be the best. So yes, like if you take them out early on, you beat the best. So like you don't have to save the best queens for the finale, because if you can chop them early, then you're still winning. You're still better than them in a way, you know?
Trixie says that queen was basically saying, if you send the best home, then you beat the best.
Exactly.
Isn't that the point? Then
yes. Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna see that it kind of backfired.
Well.
But the intention was evil, and I loved it.
Vamos a ver.
Yeah.
But the other thing that this is, I don't know why it's starting to really like. Every time I hear it, I don't. No, that is the number 2.
Okay,
that's the number 2. The number 1, which I don't ever want to hear again, and I know we're probably going to hear a million times next episode. Hello, people.
Oh God, I
can't.
Yes.
I can't do it. I can't. I don't know why. I don't know why. Why? Yes. What is it with Mexican queens having these like tiny little English catchphrases?
Well, I mean, then just let's go watch La Más Draga instead.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Here's the order. The first up, because they're trying to sabotage, like Fierce Delicious would say, is Horacio Potasio.
Yeah.
Then we have Eva.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Unique.
Mm-hmm.
Then after Unique is Jenary.
Mm-hmm.
Then Elektra. And then because they want to sabotage, Leexa.
Yes.
Leexa literally says something like, well, yeah, obviously because you're scared of me. Which is kind of fierce.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Okay. So
before we get into the main challenge and the roast, I love that obviously the editors did their job, but for them to do their job, everybody had to give them the footage. And so the moment that they realize that it's a roast, all the way to the actual roast, we get 1,000 times Queens and Taiga Lolita saying like, oh, poor Horacio, this is a comedy challenge, she's gonna flop. We hear it over and over and over again from Horacio, from the Queens, and from the hosts. And it's like, okay, I get it that the editors did this, but at the same time, there must be saying it in the workroom for them to have that footage.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so no matter what, why would you be like, why would you as a host be trying to say like, oh, you're gonna flop this challenge, girl? Like just encourage her. Come on.
I know, right?
Anyway,
that takes us right to the main challenge.
Yes.
So the way we're going to do this is we're going to go through each person in order, and we're going to just basically say kind of like what our favorite joke or least favorite joke or moment or whatever from each of them is. How we feel they did, whatever.
Yes.
The first up is Horacio Potasio. Now, what was your favorite part of this little roast?
Okay, so I had a couple of favorite jokes. Kind of like, I feel like a great start, because it was kind of early on, was the song joke for Gala. Because at first I thought it was like, oh, the joke didn't land, but it wasn't that it didn't land, it was that it wasn't over, you know? So basically what Horacio says is like, oh, like nobody has done more, or like an old song hasn't gone as far as Gala's. And then we have a pause like, oh, is that the joke? And then she turns around and shows us her tongue, and it's like, it's on season 2, you know, like basically like the song has been on 2 seasons. And that was funny. And then she continued with like, speaking of things that have been inside my mom. Hello, Tiger.
Well, I was worried at first because usually when someone when they start off the roast, they do whatever they can to come out with like super high energy, right? To set the tone, to whatever. And Horacio's energy seemed kind of low. But she proceeds to just get better and better. And I thought that was fun. My favorite joke that she says, um, just because, just because, is, todos han hecho cosas maravillosas para estar aquí esta noche. Y pues a Oscar le hablamos. Which, I mean, in English is basically like, everybody's done so many great things to get to this point, to get here tonight. And Oscar, well, we just gave him a call.
Yeah.
So good.
Yes.
And they all loved it.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, because they all know it's true. Yes.
So next we have Eva.
Uh-huh.
My favorite joke was actually when Matraka said "híjole," because of how bad it was.
I loved how all the season 1 queens were like just giving it back, like we're not having it.
But something that Eva actually said that I did like was she was telling Matraka, "Has prostituido tanto a la cultura mexicana que Salma Hayek quiere interpretarte en una película." That was great.
Brilliant, yes.
In English, you've hoard out so much Mexican culture that Salma Hayek wants to play you in a movie.
Yeah.
And then the thing about Lolita and the makeup being so white that Lolita wants to use it or whatever.
No,
You're so white that Lolita.
It was Regina. You're so white that Lolita wants to use you.
Yeah, that Lolita wants to use you from her makeup.
Yeah. I loved the first kind of few jokes that she had, where she was like, "We wanted to get, we wanted to get this queen, but we got this queen instead, and we wanted to get like Victoria Rufo, who is like a famous telenovela actress who cries all the time, but we got Cristian Peralta. We wanted Dita Bontis, but we got Gala Varo." And she was like, "We wanted a stuffed chicken," and here she is. Hello, Regina Boche. Like, I felt like that was great. In general, I thought that she had some amazing jokes. Like, at least the writing of the jokes was amazing. But in the middle, she had like a couple of terrible ones. And so it was kind of weird to go like from very great jokes to like absolute dots. And then back to like
as I watched it, it felt like good joke, bad joke, good joke, bad joke, or good delivery, bad delivery. It felt very much like that back and forth.
And there were a couple that I didn't even get, that I was like, what were you trying to say here? Anyway.
Well,
now
next up is Unique, and baby, it was unique because it was very bad.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not so unique because the next person doesn't do great either. But the funniest thing she said was "habrá que editar."
Yes, I mean she was
Which,
very
for me,
both of them were
for me it's the new "habrá que checar," "habrá que editar." Whenever you don't want like I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
It's so bad that they literally inject the sound effect. It's bad.
And I love that both for her and Jenary, either the season 1 queens or Taiga and Lolita were like, "Girl, you better just start learning the lip sync and go sit back down," In the case of Unique, I felt like she, again, unlike Jenary, as we're gonna see, Unique had some incredible jokes when it comes to the writing, but she couldn't deliver almost any of them, Like she had this great, not great, but like this very good Regina joke that was so easy to deliver because it's a joke that we have seen, obviously, a few times since COVID happened, which is like, hey, you got COVID and now you are back from COVID, but you still don't have your taste back, Like we have seen it on Drag Race, I feel like, on roast and stuff like that, because it's a very easy joke and it's funny. But she fumbled it so much that it took like a while for her to finish it. And also, but the thing that I love is that obviously she brought back the whole like padre familia, transformista, cónyuge, yogurt oficial.
I don't understand the yogurt.
It's just another word to add to the Cristian Peralta oficial,
I mean, you can come up with a better one.
I mean, it's but it's just it was just funny. Anyway,
so Next
What?
up is Jenary. I don't even know what to say here.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'll say this then. We've talked about this many times.
Yes.
The idea of how do you go to Drag Race without a whole bunch of pre-written reads you could use for anyone? If I like
the COVID one. The COVID one, you can just substitute the name and that's it. That's a joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know Trixie loves this, but if I were on Drag Race, one of the first things I would do if I found out that they were going to put me on Drag Race is I would call up Jackie B and I would be like, okay, can you help me punch up some jokes, some reads so that I can, like that way you can modify, you can go in with like, you don't have to come up with everything from scratch. You go in a little prepared with things that you can already say, jokes that you can, and if someone has bad fashion, you can substitute that for bad musicality or bad whatever, like, come on.
Everybody has been coming for Gottmik since the roast of All Stars, because apparently she stole. Well, not she didn't steal. Like she just basically took like a bunch of Nikki Glazer's jokes, and she just substituted for Drag Race and stuff. But she was great on the roast at the moment, if you didn't know that. And then you go online and everybody's saying that. But the thing is, like, we're not trying to find like somebody who is a great joke writer. You know what I mean? Like, it's about who's funny. And if you're gonna like change up some stuff in a stolen joke, but it's gonna work and you're gonna deliver it great, like yeah, like just do it. Like it's just a reality show. Like it's not like nobody's gonna like sue you or something. And also, I feel like the way that I would do it, because I'm not as prepared as you, would be that I would get there, and on day one, it would be like, okay, her, and I would just start writing stuff for whatever comes our way in
but
the
that's
next
what I mean
weeks.
is that's also a very valid way to do it. What are you doing in your hotel room at night if not writing jokes?
You literally have nothing else to do. Yes.
Go, okay, so there's a fashion queen here. There's a girl that thinks she's Miss the musical theater. There's a girl that thinks, so then start writing jokes for that.
Oh, also, this is Drag Race in Mexico. Every girl knows every girl from before the show. You don't have an Elektra read since you met her like 3 years ago in another show. Like, come on. Anyway,
yeah, it's bad. It's bad. The thing that I thought was funny though is that Jenary's roast performance reminds me of, I put this image in our images folder. There was this politician, Jeb Bush.
Oh yeah, please.
That's what her performance reminded me of. She's like,
because you was like, please laugh.
Please laugh. But she says, but you can clap now. Clap.
Yes. No,
for me.
I think she said at some point she did say, please laugh, or you have to laugh here.
Yes, but
and I feel like I don't remember
clap.
if it was Taiga or Lolita who literally said,
Taiga says, well, then tell a joke.
Yes, which is very, reminiscent of RuPaul, like, say something funny, bitch. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what she says.
Well, goodbye, people.
Moving on. Yeah, goodbye, people. Elektra.
Yeah.
My favorite thing she says, because her set's kind of weird. Yeah. But my favorite thing she says is, Reginita Voce es más inventada que la carrera de teatro musical de Leexa Fox.
Okay.
I thought it was funny.
I have a question.
But,
So the literal translation of this is Regina Voce is more made up or more invented out of nowhere than Leexa Fox's musical theater career. But my question is, how did they translate inventada, and what do you know what inventada means in Mexican slang?
I don't remember how they translated it, because when I rewatched it the second time, I actually watched it in Spanish with Spanish subtitles. Let me see. Why don't we find out? So I don't know what inventada means in Spanish, like Mexican slang.
Okay,
Why don't you tell me?
Yes, because here we have both meanings of inventada. Obviously, for the second half of the joke, which is like Leexa Fox's career, that's literally made up. You know, she's saying like her career is made up. But for the first half, calling Regina Boche an inventada, inventada kind of means like somebody who is oh fuck, how do you say okay, somebody who is pretentious but also kind of like full of themselves, but also kind of like they think like they're a big deal, and like but there's no proof that they're a big deal.
Self-deluded?
Yes, kind of like self-appointed big deal of the world, but like who said that, you know? And so that's kind of like Regina. So she's basically saying that Regina es una inventada, so she's kind of like a pretentious bitch or whatever, but also saying that Leexa Fox's musical theater career is made up at the same time, you know?
Okay. So here we go. She
like
says,
an onion.
So the way that they subtitled this is Regina Boche is more fake than Leexa Fox's musical theater career.
I actually think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, because you can have a really, again, with the art of subtitling, you could have said something much longer that's like Regina Boche's is like is more made up in her mind, self-deluded than the idea of, but it's not a joke anymore because you're, you know, so that's what
anyway,
they said.
so I loved my favorite joke of Elektra's was Cristian Peralta has more filler in her than the first 7 lip syncs on season 1.
Yeah.
And also like you know, she had a lot of jokes about Matraka being a filler, you know, so like, you know, Matraka has more, it was more of a filler than blah blah blah, Matraka blah blah blah. And also, you know, because she was right after Unique and Jenary, she was like, the way things are going, Cristian might win this challenge again, you know. So
yeah, it's interesting to watch Elektra's set because some of her jokes, how do I put this? So when Regina is giving them advice, she says, you can have like some not so great jokes, but good delivery, and vice versa, right? And that's what Elektra's feels like. It feels like she didn't even listen to that advice, or, you know, because of the way that it comes out. But anyway, that was her. So she did okay, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we have the closer of the whole show, Leexa Fox. Now,
before you start, there's an obscure, very obscure La Más Draga. I'm not saying obscure, but like a very specific La Más Draga reference that she starts out with. And of course, everybody laughed, but I feel like if you don't watch La Más Draga, you're not gonna get it right away, because she walks to the podium and she goes like, "Hola, mijos, mijas, mijes," and that's the way that Liza Sansusi introduces herself every time, because she's the auntie of everybody in Mexico. That's kind of like her subtitle, Liza Sansusi, the auntie that everybody wants. And so she always goes like, "Hello, mijas, mijos, mijes," and blah, blah. And so, you know, she went like, "Hello, mijos, mijos, mijes," and everybody was like, and she was like, "Okay, no, not that." And she continued. So that was fun.
My favorite read that she gives is towards Matraka, where she says, tú representas perfectamente lo que es el drag mexicano, tu ropa es tan mexicana, pero tan mexicana, que si pudieras, le echarías crema y queso. I don't know why, I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So in English, basically saying like you perfectly represent what it is to be a Mexican drag queen or what Mexican drag is. Your drag's so Mexican that if you could, you'd cover it in cream, like cream and cheese.
Yeah.
So I love that. I think it was really good.
She also said at some point like I love Matraka's drag because she just puts like glue on herself and then throws like a stand of like Mexican Independence Day merch on the floor, and then she rolls around in it, and then she's ready to go. And my only thing about Leexa is that the judges were right. Like as soon as she kind of left the cars and left the podium and kind of tried to do her own thing, that was when she shined. But that was too
It's a
late because it was
little
literally the last three
too
jokes.
late.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the challenge.
It's weird because it feels like in 5 years, Leexa will be the amazing, confident queen that she just doesn't trust, I think, herself fully yet, maybe.
She's a brat. Like
right. So
once you get
over your, what did they say it was?
The juice, the disease,
the enfermedad.
Yeah.
You're right.
And I feel like she's basically, oh my god, I just realized she's our Naomi Smalls. Like she showed a lot of potential on her original season, but the original season being this one. But she's still a child and she still has a lot to learn. And then she's gonna come back for an All Stars or a Global All Stars, and then she's gonna, be amazing. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Alfie.
So we have a very special guest judge today. Who's probably gonna be sick of me here in a minute, but because I've been gone for several days, he's being very needy. All right, where were we?
So I was gonna introduce the guest judge for this episode. So Manolo Caro is a very, very successful queer Mexican filmmaker who has made many, many successful movies and TV shows. And I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but on Letterboxd and on Twitter and like basically publicly, like I can talk, trash about movies all day long, about bad movies and like filmmakers that I don't think are like great filmmakers, but I try not to be negative publicly, at least, about Mexican filmmakers, especially queer Mexican filmmakers.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they're, on the same boat as I am. So that's all I gotta say. So let's get to the runway.
Okay. Well, we're gonna do things, not differently, but we have a few extra people to quickly talk about.
So we're gonna go really quickly through the looks of the season 1 queens as they're coming back to the runway for one more time. And first off, we have Cristian Peralta.
I want to hear what you think first.
I get that she's trying to do kind of like something Madonna-esque. By the way, this is not giving me Madonna, this is giving me Judy, but like that, we're not gonna go there. But I don't like the black panty because it literally, like, you know how I feel about like unfinished things that are like, hey, here's like the top part, and then I just run out with a couple of panties and whatever, a pair of panties. But in this case, even if you're gonna do that, why the black panty? Because it literally looks like your skirt got ripped off right before you came out on the runway.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
In this photo in particular, the top looks ill-fitting.
Yeah.
But the thing I hate the most, I don't know why, but I hate this. I've always hated it. I don't like it when queens do this. It doesn't make any sense to me. I've seen Lolita do it. I don't like it. Can you tell what I'm gonna say? It's in this picture.
Oh my God. pulling their ponytails?
Yes, I hate when queens hold their
Oh,
hair like as if it's fierce. Like what? Why? You're holding your hair.
I
I
mean,
don't like it. I don't get it. I
s-
don't like it. I
sometimes
don't
it
like it.
is fierce, like when Chia Gunn, that's kind of her trademark.
I don't like it.
Okay. Or when a queen, and this is from ballroom actually, think when they kind of go like thread by thread, as kind of
That's
like showing
different.
like, okay,
That's
okay.
different.
But you don't
To
like the Gia
put
Gun helicopter? Gas.
nope. So I don't like it
Okay,
when
okay,
Christian
okay.
Peralta does it
Okay,
either.
okay, 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 okay. Anyway, next up is Gala Varo. And this is a good, roast look. That's what I'm gonna say.
Um. Okay. I will say that it's not bad, but this is not what I would have worn if I came back to Drag Race.
Well, yeah.
Um, and also in the close-ups during the roast, the face makeup on the eyes is really weird.
Okay.
Just that's all I'll say.
Okay. Next up is Matraka. And this is okay. I feel like I'm not seeing in this. I don't know outside of it, but in this, I'm not seeing something different that what we had already seen. Like I feel like this could have been taken on season 1, and you kind of don't want to
Yeah.
do that, you know?
When she came out at first, at like first glance,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just a printed bodysuit.
Yeah.
It's not. There's a skirt here and like a corset top kind of thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think that it's fine, but I thought that I expected something a little more elaborate from
Okay.
her. And when the most elaborate thing is the little dragon in your hair,
You see that real dragon?
huh?
Oh yeah, it's like a Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, next up is Regina Boche, and I have to first of all, I have to say, okay. One thing is to make jokes about like how she has kind of like a suspicious taste in clothes or whatever, but for her to actually come out and Taiga and Lolita to be like, finally, as if they were saying like, finally she looks good. It's like, girl, she wasn't that bad on season 1. Like she had some cookie ookie spooky babaduki looks, but like she wasn't terrible. Like this is not like a finally moment, and that was kind of mean, but like she looks great. I feel like that she does look great,
Yeah, I think she let them have it. This is really cool.
This could have been a great finale look for season 1 instead of both her and Cristian being brides.
Yeah,
Which
I
to
agree.
this day I don't get. Anyway, so next up we have the queens on the runway.
Well, first, we have to talk about what the runway theme is.
Yes, of course, I was getting there. Night of maybe not 1,000, but like of 200
5,
Selenas.
6. Yeah.
So it was Selena Quintanilla, and I gotta say, we kind of like, what happened?
Oh, he gets like I'm done with you, and then like growls and almost bites, and then I just like throw him away. So
Cheated kid, yes.
yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
we discussed this on the previous episode. We kind of were like, something this could go either way, because we know that unfortunately we didn't get as many crazy iconic looks from Selena as we wish, because she didn't have the time to show them. But also that we were gonna get some of the classic ones, and we were hoping to get something creative. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened to like half of this, and I don't even want to know what the queens that are eliminated were going to bring, because girl. Anyway,
Well, are you talking specifically now about
let's
Elektra or?
start with Elektra. I'm pretty sure because unlike, I mean, you didn't think her delivery was great. I feel like she could have won this challenge, and she literally just lost it because of this outfit.
I don't think so. I thought her set was kind of weird and not very.
No, I thought it
I
was
don't know.
pretty funny, especially like the second time I saw it. I was like, oh, she didn't have like, you know, jokes that didn't land or anything. She was pretty great.
Yeah.
And everybody liked
So
it. So but the outfit, I just want to say, I'm not a fashion person by any means, but I know that Elektra always 99.99% of the time delivers.
that's why this is slightly disappointing.
Yes.
However, so Selena did wear this outfit, except for the shiny metal was longer. It was like
Okay.
almost to the ground. But we'll see. We see this here, and we'll see it again. The thing that I find that is bringing a lot of these looks down is the hair.
Okay.
This hair is not high enough for Selena. And they even a few times call her Nanny Fran Fine.
A bunch of times.
Right?
I wanted to say,
so that's what this is giving, is the nanny.
When it's a night of 1,000 something, I feel like it has to be a balance between, you don't want to just do the exact same thing, because at the end of the day, you're not a cis, most of the time, you're not a cis woman that is wearing the exact same thing as another cis woman. And also, you don't want to go so outside the box that it doesn't make any sense, you know? You kind of wanted that balance between, I'm dragging things up, but it still reminds you of the original. And I feel like if you say that Selena wore this looks pedestrian, not in a negative way towards Selena, but in a way that is like too realistic. You know what I mean?
It's not, you didn't make this drag.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Next, let's move on.
Next. Eva Blunt. This is, I feel, like a great representation of, I'm gonna think outside the box, but at the same time, it's not gonna be indecipherable. This is La Carcacha, paso a pasito. Yeah. This is literally the car, a car, because Selena has a song about like a car. Not really about a car, but like the image that she presents is a car. And so she's dressed as a Selena-esque character, but also as the car from the song. So I think that this is great. And with a little gas can microphone. Yes, come on. Yes,
that works me out. So the very first thing I saw on the runway when she came out, which I loved, was oh my gosh, pause. The first thing is that she's wearing bangs that cover her eyes, and it looks so cool. And she like takes them up, great. And then it's giving you a Selena-esque, like you said, look. And then you see what she's done, and I think it's creative. It's outside that. Like I said last week, I was like, if someone dresses up as the bumper with the anything for Selenas, I'm gonna die, right? Like, you don't have to, like, it's not 1,000 Selenas. You don't necessarily have to dress just like Selena. Yes. You could try to do something a little more creative, or whatever. So this is giving me that. I think it would have had like just like the last final punch of impact if the back had said anything for Selenas on the jacket, but it's amazing. The skirt is so cool because it looks like a chrome, like a car chrome, thing. It's great. I want to know, how did she pack this and the dragon boat from the fair ball and everything else, but like those two that are like super complex and bulky and everything, like in just the 2 bags and a dream that they allowed them to bring to Colombia. Like, this is crazy. Yeah, I wonder if it's collapsible somehow, or pieces, or who knows. She had a TikTok where she showed us how she kind of
created the whole boat thing with the dragons and how she would be able to kind of dismantle it. Because
I meant this skirt. Like if the
no,
skirt was
this
two
is no, no,
pieces.
no. What I mean is everything that she brought was designed that way, that it could be like collapsible and everything, because she is an industrial designer from the school that I went to. Remember?
Nice. There you go.
Anyway, next up is Horacio Potasio. Now, what I want to say is, I already said like, oh, you don't want to like just do cosplay and you don't want to like, you know, go super outside the box, blah, blah. The exception to that rule is when you look like the bitch. Like if you look like Beyonce and it's at Night of Thousand Beyonces, girl, give us Beyonce. And if you look like Selena with a wig with bangs, the moment you put the wig in with bangs, then give us Selena 100%.
Yeah.
And this is like, you know, obviously she said like, oh, I made this longer than it was and blah, blah. But like she could very easily like do like a Selena impersonation challenge. Like she looks like Selena, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But what do you think of the outfit?
I think it's great. I mean, it's simple-ish, but like it's great.
Yeah, I think she even says something about like, you know, I'm wearing this long jacket. You know, what the jacket she wore was short, but like I'm gonna give you a long one. Like, yeah, I think it's fine. It doesn't. You look at it and you know what she's doing. So,
Yeah.
Alfie, get out of there. This is why I don't ever have him in here when I'm recording. All right.
All right.
Next.
So, next up is Jenary Blow. We know, you know, protect bad drag. Like we know that drag is supposed to, you know, not make fun of, but like kind of like ruffle some feathers and stuff like that, and like do some stuff. But there's a difference for me between Katya doing Abraham Lincoln and literally doing like with in her head with a fake gun with her fingers, and Jenary coming out and going basically like, no, don't shoot me, and then falling to the ground for a reveal.
Yeah.
Girl, Selena just died. Like in the 90s. And it's not like, you know, like the president died. It's like a 22-year-old girl was killed in the peak of her career. Like, I don't know if it was in the best of tastes, you know? And the outfit, both the outfits, the before one and the reveal one are terrible. So yeah. Like, this is not even brown cow stunning. This is like brown cow. She was also there.
I don't have anything to say about this.
Thank you. Next up is Leexa Fox. Girl, I know you're a skinny child, but wear some hip pads for Selena.
Oh yeah.
It's Selena. Like you have to have some body.
She did feel padded, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
This, you can't see it very much in this picture, but she performed this runway great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they did tell her to slow down a little bit, enjoy yourself, take your time, because she does kind of move through it pretty quick. But she does Selena dirty with this wig, because the bangs are almost non-existent. They're so thin. They're like, Selena had like, you know, small bangs, fine, but like not like this.
Yeah.
Like,
and also like, you know, like once you see it like up close, like I know that, okay, how are you gonna put a Selena look together, especially a performance look? It's gonna be like leggings and the bra and the boots and whatever. But it doesn't excuse you from like it looking like a pair of boots your sister had in her closet, a pair of leggings you already had, like a bra that you glued some stuff on. Like it looks just crunchy in general, and it looks like, yeah, it looks like a Halloween version of Selena that you put together last minute, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't get it. Anyway, I mean, it's fine. it
Yeah.
works, and they're even like, oh, she looks like her, and okay, what? So like it works, but yeah, whatever.
Anyway, next up is Unique Equa, and she's giving us body ori, and this is one of those times where you're like, maybe the reveal wasn't necessary, because she was giving us Grammy Selena, and it was great. And then she revealed it to pants, and it was like, why? I feel like that reveal should have been kept for the lip sync.
Well, she has another reveal for the lip sync.
I don't remember.
She takes these pants off, and there's like fringe.
Oh,
like
okay. Yeah, I remember now.
I wouldn't say this is great, because again, what's really bringing this down is the wig.
Yeah.
So if you Google Selena Grammys, right? She has a huge wisp of a bang here, and then a crazy like cascading like curl here, and her hair is twice as big as this. So if you're a drag queen,
but it's not even that. It's not even like accuracy thing. It's like, if you're gonna do proportionize, like if you're gonna do
that's
like
it though. That's it.
When the hair has to be bigger.
I'm not saying that she had to do the exactly
the
I
know.
thing, but she's doing such a different shape than one that could have been more accurate and helped her more with this look.
Like, this is big hair for Leexa. Like, this is not big hair for like Unique with the hip pads and everything that she's wearing. So yeah.
No, but seriously, do you remember what she looked like at the Grammys? It's like it was huge. So when you're a drag queen and you're doing it smaller,
yeah,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
so Chida and Churpia. Out of these, we're not gonna count the season 1 queens. They were all great, and they were not going to be like my Chida and Churpia anyway. But out of these season 2 queens, I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give a chingona to Eva Blunt, and I'm gonna give a mega churpia to Jenary. I'm gonna find a new sound effect for that.
No, I don't know what to say that's clever or cute because I'm so tired, but like I have the same exact thought. Like Eva Blunt, I would be like cheetah, but it deserves more than a cheetah. So that has to be a chingona.
Yeah.
And then Jenary, I have nothing to say but mega chingona. Sorry, like
mega
sorry,
what?
Jenary. A mega churpia.
Just said mega chingona.
I just told you I was tired.
I realized that. Anyway, so in the top we have Horacio, to the shock of everyone, including her, Eva and Elektra. And in the bottom, we have very clearly Unique, Jenary, and Leexa. And who ends up winning is Horacio. And girl, if I was a Drag Race producer, I would be like, this is the greatest thing that could have organically-ish happened on a season of Drag Race. For the queen who was just in the bottom two times in a row for comedy challenges, to then come back for a roast and clearly, not even, you cannot argue against, like, clearly win. It's like right before the last challenge. Like this is great reality TV writing, Like, whatever you did as a producer to kind of help Horacio get there, like, it's great because it gives us like, oh, we were talking about last week, like, oh, Horacio is probably going home this week. and she's clearly not. She literally won. And so it's incredible. It's a great moment for Drag Race, and it's also a great moment for Katya. So yeah.
A great moment for what?
Brett asks Tiffany to marry him, and this is big for Brett. And it's also big for Tiffany. Now, this is huge for Paul, but let's not forget, this is a pretty big deal for Micah. Now, this is a huge moment for Micah, but it's also pretty big for Paul. This is big for Marshall. But with all that Jackie's been through...
Well, we go to the lip sync.
Yes.
I was wondering, are they good? Because, okay, Drag Race in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
they have to pay for music.
Mm-hmm.
Drag Race UK, you don't have to pay for music on TV. It's like you play whatever you want.
Oh.
So I don't know what it's like in Mexico. So I was like, can they afford Selena? Does it matter? Can they just play Selena? Like, who knows? So I didn't know if the song was going to be a Selena song, but I was like, how can they do this Runway and not have a lip sync song be Selena? And it was Techno Cumbia.
Yes.
And the two people to lip sync are, which is hilarious considering the beginning of this episode,
Yes.
Unique and Jenary.
Yes. Hello, Lipsync.
Yeah.
So,
Hello, Lipsync.
they lip sync to Techno Cumbia, which is, by the way, one of my favorite Selena songs.
Nice.
And I gotta say, like, they started out strong, like both of them, especially Jenary. I think Jenary started out very strong, but then they kind of got tired in the middle of the song. Like they at the end they were like just like going through the movements, like please just end this song already. Like yeah, like it was like half great and then half like yeah, just cut the song, like they're done, you know, and it got kind of boring. So there's a rule in filmmaking, not a rule, but like a thing in filmmaking, which is like the thing that people are going to remember the most is how you end the movie. So your movie could be great for 90% of the runtime, but if the ending is bad, the movie, they're going to remember it as a bad movie. And the same thing goes the other way. Like if it's not a great movie, but the ending is great, people are going to think of it as a great movie. So I feel like
that's half of M. Night Shyamalan's movies
exactly,
right
literally. But yeah, like so I feel like this is a lip sync that started out great, but the ending was so boring that it's not a great lip sync, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I have a weird thought about this lip sync, and I'm wondering what you might think.
Okay.
I think that had they done...
Oh.
What do you think I'm going to say?
No. My mind went somewhere else. Mm-hmm.
I think that if they had done a song, like I Could Fall in Love, that Unique would have won. Because I think Unique, in her desperation of I'm probably going to go home, would have been able to access emotion much easier than Jenary.
Yes. Jenary went into the lip sync like, I got 3 weeks, like whatever, I'm not going home.
Yeah, but also like, I'm not saying that Jenary would have done like Kenya Michaels' dance performance to I Could Fall in Love, but like, I don't think she would have connected to it as much as maybe Unique. So, and I also would have liked them to do that because while when we think of Selena, we think of like the, you know, Tejano style, like the like energetic music. To give us like a ballad, I don't think we've had that yet.
Yeah.
And that would have been kind of cool.
I thought you were gonna say that they were ready for Horacio to lip sync even before the challenge happened. And so they were like, oh yes, Techno Cumbia, but yeah.
Yeah, that's also probably true. The one way that I think Jenary can redeem herself with this hideous "hello people" like catchphrase is if she gets eliminated and then her exit line is "goodbye people."
Also I was gonna say that, you know, we didn't even say like Jenary won the lip sync. And Horacio Horacio was there. Unique went home. So I guess it's time.
For what? For quoi?
Locked, la.
Did somebody mention? All right. Well, first up, I'm considering these two pieces as tangentially related to Drag Race, especially this week and previous.
Of course.
And so this is an artist, and considering that this is a new artist that I just found, that I just discovered who's Mexican, amazing.
I just realized that this is from 2023.
Yeah, and I just discovered it. So
I'll allow it.
So this artist is Misael_HN, and they drew this Selena, right? Amazing. But the next piece is also by this artist.
Oh my God.
And do you see what it is?
Yes. Trixie Mateo.
Burrita dressed as Barbie.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So next we have a new piece by nuestro querido Gibran, right?
From when?
And this is Ava Blunt. It's very new on his page. So Gibran Vargas, but you also like Gibran Vargas art. So if you follow Gibran Vargas, so because you can follow his art account, and then you can follow his other account. And last but certainly not least, an artist that I love, I just discovered, sent you their artwork today on Instagram of the little fish dude. Catch up. Go to your Instagram.
Fish dude?
The little green fish dude that you like.
Oh, Hangedon. Yeah. Okay.
That artist also drew that.
Oh, okay.
This is the same artist. He is from Mexico.
I am obsessed with this because this is for me like a big representation of what is Margaret's drag, which is like just this explosion of like, you know, like
100%. So see, I asked this artist, I sent them a message, can we show your artwork on the show? Because I really love it. I think it's great. Can we talk about it? Tell people to go see your stuff.
Oh, this is from 2021.
Yes. Online, this person goes by LemonBoy. But if you go to their Instagram, let's just do it real quick because I want you to see some
Lemon
stuff.
from Canada's Drag Race. No.
Yeah. So it's LemonBO_ and then Y, right? So their very first piece that's up is your little fish dude. I don't remember his name.
Hang it on.
But this is gonna be a very strange art critique.
Okay.
I think it may not sound like high praise, but I think this is some of the highest praise I can give this artist. In my art. So guys, you know what? We didn't have any art last week, so you're getting an extended art segment.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay? So in my art, I try very hard when I'm inking, when I'm doing something, especially in comics, I'm way too stiff. I try to do my ink lines as very smooth, never a deviation, never a scribble. This artist doesn't give an F. Yeah. And their stuff looks amazing.
Can I say it's
like embracing the like.
Oh my God! Look at this! Look at this willow peel with her house.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know.
I gotta say this is something that is actually you're not gonna let me lie. Like it's something that is hard to achieve in art, which is to have this naivete of like almost a childlike kind of drawing, but still being like a professional artist behind it. It's hard because you cannot replicate that naivete that you had when you were 6. But in the hangudons that you show me, like, I mean, he's calling them like poorly drawn hangudon, but it's like, no, this is super well done, but they have this naivete of like, it's just a child drawing a hangudon, you know?
It's exactly what you just said, because this art and artist, it appears to me very professional, polished work.
Yes, of course.
I don't see the willow pill one though.
Oh, it's way down. Like I was just scrolling and I found it.
But even this Nausicaa, this is a professional piece. You know, like
I couldn't see about that one. It's a tarantula.
We're just geeking out now about this.
Oh no, it's Margaret dressed as Tangela. Angela the Pokemon. This is perfect.
Yeah, see, we're geeking out now.
A Pokemon Margaret illustration. This I cannot believe this exists.
Yeah, I could look at this
right under
all
that Margaret thing is the Willow Pill thing.
What? Wait, where? I don't see. Oh, I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
I see it. Oh, and then there's another one here.
He has some Spirited Away things.
But this one
Oh
is.
my god.
Fascinado con un trabajo de deseo fab, hidden mistake, Israel. Like, that's this piece here. Yeah. So anyway, guys, check out these artists. They are great.
Yes,
And I love everything they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your art segment for the week. Check out. Oh, they have a Totoro thing. Did you see Totoro? Did you see?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, all the stuff we love. Check them out, support them, send them a nice message that you like their artwork.
Look
like
at this Yosaki.
Your favorite pieces.
Usagi.
Oh my gosh, so good. I didn't even notice that one.
It's one of the first ones.
Did you see their Trixie and Orville Peck?
No, not yet.
Yeah, it's this one here.
Oh, that's cool.
If they ever drew Ranma, I would die. Oh, they did an animation of a Crystal Method clock from her Muppet look. Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's giving me the clown girl that used to do the clock with her legs. Remember?
Yeah.
From the big couch or something like that.
From the big couch.
Look at this Olmec, like a big can. Look at this Olmec head.
I'm not seeing the Sailor Moon one. The Olmec head's great.
No, because it's one of the first ones, but it's a detail of a bigger piece. Like it's a.
Well, Chucho, tell the people where to find you.
You can find me. Oh God, sorry. You can find me on Instagram and Letterboxd as Chucho_QMP and on Twitter as Chucho_Q.
All right. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Terry Blast, on my TikTok at Terry_Blast, and on my website, terryblast.com. That's it. That's all. That's it. And that's it.
Yes.
Thank you for joining. Until next time, and as always, respeta tu cultura, marico. All right. Well, you know what we're going to do now?
We can just continue.
We're going to take a break
Okay, well, let's take a break.
because I need something to drink.